Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to earth. Hello, Astro friends, and welcome to another bonus episode about 2025. This one is a little recap of 2024 for every sign, as well as what to look forward to in 2025, because the year ahead is going to hit different for sure. There's a lot of new energies coming in. The north and south nodes are changing. Every single one of the outer planets is moving into a new sign. We did another bonus episode about that, so you can listen to it and find out where all the planets are going to be next year and how that's going to be so different. But really, in a nutshell, every single one of the outer planets, which is Jupiter through Pluto, is going to be in a new sign for at least part of the year. And the outer planets shape our culture, shape our society, shape global shifts. Therefore, the world around us is going to be different, and we're going to have to chameleon ourselves in some ways for the sake of our survival and growth. So when your environment changes, it can't help but also affect you. So what I'm going to do is prep you for that, especially the transits that are going to be affecting your zodiac sign. Listen for your sun sign first. You can also listen for your rising sign as a secondary one. People sometimes ask about the moon sign. That's a little bit of a stretch. The moon rules your emotional nature, and you could transpose it and say, how would this work for how I feel inside? Let's get into it. Okay, so Aries in 2024. You pushed through a hero's journey to get in touch with your magic and purpose. You had an eclipse in your sign, that April 8th total solar eclipse. The North Node, the destiny dusted North Node that shapes our society, was in Aries, which was really bringing out this sense of leadership for everyone, especially for you. You were definitely not able to hide who you are, and you probably got called to take on more responsibility in some ways than you have in a while. Chiron, the wounded healer asteroid, was also in Aries, which put a little bit of a different spin on it. Normally, when you have the North Node in your sign, it's exciting, dazzling, fireworks, but your North Node year came with this heavier energy, this weight of duty, this responsibility, this sense that you had to kind of help others heal as part of your, own ascent, and maybe some of your own healing happened in the process. We did see some really powerful Aries step into the public eye kind of out of nowhere in some ways. Tim Walz, Aries, didn't really know much about him unless you were in Minnesota, and he became this voice for anti-toxic masculinity. He made us all tear up with his relationship with his son, Gus, who is neurodivergent. And we also had Celine Dion, who came out at the Olympics singing, even though she has been dealing with a lot of pain from having stiff person syndrome. She killed it at the Olympics. Lady Gaga, also an Aries, did. And then I love this, Kylie Kelsey, who is married. She's sister-in-law to Travis Kelce, boyfriend of Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift adjacent. Her podcast, Not Gonna Lie, recently just, smashed to number one on the charts, and she now has more followers than Leo Joe Rogan. And, while he skews right, she's come out and said that she aggressively leans left. So that is an Aries for you right there, coming out just strong like that. Speaking of strong, we had Aries Pedro Pascal in Gladiator 2. Is the zaddy of the year for some. And then we have Shaka Khan doing moon meditations on Instagram. If you haven't seen them yet, you really should. So what's 2025 about, Aries? Well, you are ready to put your dreams and your passions into action. It's time for the build, but not in a rushed overnight way. For one thing, Venus, which is a planet of creativity and love, is going to be retrograde in your sign. It's retrograde from March 1st to April 12th, but in Aries from March 1st to March 27th. So the first part of Aries season is going to be a little bit tinged with nostalgia. Dig around in the crates. Some of your greatest hits might want to come out. Some of your old talents and old unfinished products and projects may be ready for a sequel. And then we have Saturn and Neptune both moving into Aries, which is a little bit of an awkward dance. Neptune moves into your sign from March 30th to October 22nd this year, then for another 13 years starting in 2026. Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1875. So this is unprecedented, and this is a planet of spirituality and creativity in your sign. Saturn is along for the ride for about 3 years on and off. And this year, for the first year, it'll be there from May 24th until September 1st. So a few months, but that's going to put some structure behind your dreams. And there's a sort of a, you're not going to be able to drift off too far. Saturn helps you to put those blueprints in place. Now we have 5 themes for every sign that we picked out in our 2025 horoscope book. And I'm just going to share what those are. If you want to read more about what they are, go to astrostyle.com/2025-book and get your copy. It comes in paperback, it comes in digital. We have one giant 650-page book. We've written this giant book for 14 years now where we break down the year in depth for every zodiac sign, as well as the 12 months with almost a daily horoscope. Whenever there's an important transit happening, we have moon calendars, so there is a daily horoscope in there. So you can really follow it along every single day, check it throughout the year. And it comes with a calendar populator, so you'll get little pop-up reminders, a digital one, to go and check your book when there is what we call a hotspot transit. The 5 themes we go in depth in the book. But for you, Aries, they're act locally, connect to your roots, put some steam behind your dreams, reimagine your love goals, and go slow to go fast. Also, please, 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 Aries and every zodiac sign who gets a book today, use the code HOLIDAY10, HOLIDAY10 at checkout, and save 10% on your purchase. Okay, I'll remind you of that a couple more times throughout, but let's get on to Taurus. Taurus in 2024, your steady sign was visited by 2 of the biggest change-making planets, Jupiter and Uranus, the innovators, the liberators, the free spirits. Nobody can accuse you of being stubborn or afraid of change ever again after this year. In fact, on April 20th, Jupiter and Uranus met up at the exact same degree of Taurus, something that they haven't done in 14 years. You especially were the radical, out of left field person who came up. You were like the breakout star. So if you don't believe me, let me name a couple of your fellow bulls. Sabrina Carpenter brewed us up that me espresso. I mean, she was like hit after hit. I can't get Feather. Please, please, please. I love her. I love her songs. I love those earworms. Adele was in Vegas this year. But what about Jules LeBron? If you've heard people saying very demure, very mindful, well, Jules LeBron is responsible for that. A hilarious Taurus who kept us entertained and, shamelessly and unapologetically earned money for gender reassignment surgery. No big deal. Love Jules LeBron. Now, the most radical of the Tauruses, that award goes to Luigi Mangione, who had his manifesto around healthcare and took it to the extreme, murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, who was a cancer, in New York City. That was my first day here. I woke up and found out that someone had just been shot in the city. He had an very Uranian ideological, quote unquote, reason. I don't condone murder ever, but he has become kind of a revolutionary anti hero for the stance he's taken on the murders that arguably have been caused by healthcare companies by not processing or approving claims. So he's definitely opened up a conversation in a radical Jupiter Uranian way. We also have Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, two Tauruses, now having a baby, now broken up, supposedly forever, but who knows? So, Tauruses, you've kept us watching this year. 2025, what's ahead for Tauruses? Well, you can monetize all those original ideas and interesting notions, and maybe even take payments in crypto. You will have the Midas touch next year. You're also going to say goodbye to Uranus, which has been in your sign since May 2018. And life will probably settle down a little, at least in the middle of the year when Uranus goes into Gemini from July 7th to November 7th. You're almost out of the woods. It's been quite the ride. I feel like Tauruses are probably unrecognizable to themselves since May 2018. Things are going to get a little more predictable, and you'll be grateful for that. So here are your top 5 themes. Elevate your earning power, become a local celebrity, embrace a spiritual practice, release romantic blocks, and assemble your dream team. Okay, Gemini, next up. Wow, what a 2024 it's been for you. You explored and experimented. You had Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion. Taurus handed you the baton on May 25th, and you took it, put some sparkly sequined flair all over it and spun it around. You also dipped your toe into new ponds, and maybe you might be in over your head or not sure where you're going, but it was a banner year for a lot of Geminis. Nicole Kidman, I think, is kind of the poster child of that. She had so many amazing projects: Baby Girl, The Perfect Couple, A Family Affair. And she came out as this sexy woman of a certain age who attracted these younger men and just reminded us that age maybe ain't nothing but a number. Angelina Jolie, who was off screen for a while, came back as Maria Callas. And of course, Donald Trump had Jupiter on his side. Nobody thought he was really going to win. It wasn't looking so good. And then all of a sudden, the country turned red, and now we're all like, oh my God. Well, he's got Jupiter on his side until June 9th of 2025. So let's see what happens. Things are going to be a little unpredictable because not only will Jupiter be in your sign for the first half of the year, but on July 7th, Uranus, the planet of disruption and innovation, heads into Gemini for 4 months until November 7th, giving you a little taste of a longer 7-year cycle that starts again on April 25th of 2026. So life is just about to move in I want to say a wild direction, but I almost want to make that plural because Uranus transit is like a fantastic voyage, a wild ride, and a crazy chase in one. So you have to just surrender and accept that change is coming, but your popularity will rise in the process. May Geminis are going to feel it the most in 2025, but all twins are on the precipice of something wholly new. I'm wondering what's ahead for Gemini Northwest, the daughter of Kim and Kanye. Kanye's also a Gemini, but it seems like he's always having a Uranus transit. But Northwest is really breaking out as a social media creator, and she's really funny and she's got her own vibe, her own personality. So I think we're going to see a lot more of her. Your top 5 themes in 2025 are unveil the true you, increase your net worth, redefine social boundaries, plan meaningful reunions. Venus retrograde in the spring from March 1st to April 12th. It's going to be a great time for that. And also chase big dreams. Like, this is your year to swing out and go for it and take some risks. Now, Cancers, 2024 was kind of a soulful, in some ways solitary busy, but also very creative year. You may have crept back into your crab shell for some inner work, some healing and reflection, or to recalibrate your priorities, especially once Jupiter moved into Gemini and your solar 12th house on May the 25th. But your connection to divine forces and your imagination is on fire. I think Ariana Grande is really a great example of that. Enchanted, fantasy laden Jupiter in the 12th with Wicked, and really revealing her weepy, crying tour of the red carpets with Capricorn castmate Cynthia Ervino. It was sweet. It was touching. It just, she made us all well up a little bit there, and also brought that magic into our lives the way Cancers are doing. Now, Mike Tyson, another Cancer, finishing his career with a $20 million bow on it. He's also kind of rebranded himself as the person who's done the work. He speaks openly and owns his trauma and his past, and he's done psychedelics. He shares openly about that as part of his healing. Selena Gomez is another Cancer who's touching our hearts this year. She's finally found love with her now fiance, Pisces Benny Blanco, and they're cozying up at home. The 12th house can also be kind of a shadowy place. Elon Musk, a Cancer, self-proclaimed dark MAGA, pulled a lot of unprincipled strings to help give Trump his victory. Yeah, he's definitely the other side of that coin. In 2025, Cancers, you have a brand new 12-year chapter beginning when Jupiter enters your sign on June 9th. And here's a fun fact. Jupiter, even though it's the planet of travel and worldliness, is exalted in your sign, meaning that's its happiest place, most powerful place. So you might be the zodiac's nurturer and homebody, but who says you can't take home on the road? You haven't experienced Jupiter transit in your sign since 2013 to 14. It only happens every 12 years now. If you do have any secrets, better start doing your PR and damage control now, or just owning them and spinning the story yourself, because there's no hiding when Jupiter comes around. It can really expose things and swing a giant spotlight on you. So own your humanity. Come forward and tell your own story. You could also manifest a soulmate or gain major spiritual wisdom this year in the first half of the year while Jupiter remains in Gemini. Now, your top 5 themes are claim your sage status, reset your compass, elevate your professional profile, right-size your love goals, and pack your bags. Jupiter is not going to let you get away without having a passport stamp. And if you want to find out more about these 5 themes and what they mean, as well as plan your entire year by the planets with daily predictions, moon calendars, love and career forecasts, go to astrostyle.com/2025-book. The link is in our show notes, and enter Holiday 10 at checkout to save 10% on our variety of books and planners to get you through the year. You have a zodiac planner just for your sign that has calendar pages that you can write in, or get the big coffee table book that has all 12 signs to share, or bundle them together, or get 3 planners and share them with your friends, or get one for you and your sun sign, one for your rising sign, and one to give away to somebody that you love. You get to decide. So astrostyle.com/2025-book. Use Holiday 10, Holiday 10 at checkout to save 10%. On to Leo. In 2024, you had big opportunities, but also some instability around your goals, and they may have felt like a constantly moving target. I think even the Leos that did make it big were a little bit shocked by it, like Charlie XCX and the Brat Summer. She was not expecting that lime green album to blow up the way it did, but she started a whole new mood with being Brat. chipped nails, smeared makeup, rolling out of bed, just from the club kind of vibe, or basically being a writer vibe, because I feel like I'm brat every day without going to the club anymore. It's just, hey, the muse strikes, you got to sit down. Who has time to do their nails? Dua Lipa's another she's been flying high, but she was voted like the most interesting person of the year by Time magazine and most had a great tour. Now there were others who didn't have quite as great of a year. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, both of them Leos. Pluto made its way into Aquarius, your opposite sign. Pluto's kind of the Grim Reaper, and it was really putting screws to Leo's relationships. If they weren't in a good place, then the cracks in the foundation gave way to some collapse and failure. Though I did hear that the two of them did a gift exchange for Christmas, so you never know. With Pluto in Aquarius, there could be a transformation as well. I just think they need to have separate homes. We'll see. We'll see. The saga of Jen and Ben may not be over fully, but we'll have to wait and see. Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy had a hell of a year. I think she got married this year, continues to just magnetize all the celebrity guests and keep us enthralled. She even interviewed Kamala. Meghan Markle was another Leo at a little bit of a tough. We don't know. It feels like there's some strain on Meghan and Harry. But we did love Martha Stewart and her Netflix biopics. And we learned a lot about Leos. Their biz was on the streets. Madonna puts it there herself on her Instagram, and I can't stop watching personally. And I love her for that. Hey, she's from Michigan too. I will forever love Madonna. She went on tour, but she's also been under fire, as she always is. And, some people think her plastic surgery is too extreme and her 20-something boyfriend is like, what? But Madonna's gonna Madonna. She's just gonna be who she is. And that's why we love her. Your 5 themes, Leo: spark up synergies, take a celestial sabbatical. You're going to need a break halfway through the year. When Jupiter goes into Cancer, it'll be in your 12th house. So on June 30th of 2026, not this year, but next year, halfway through, you get Jupiter in your sign. And that is this reawakening, reinvention. Last time that happened was 2014 to 15, which may have been a time of like renewal for you in the middle of 2014. First, you gotta kind of slough off the old skin. You gotta shake it off, give yourself a chance to do that inner healing. So take a sabbatical where you can. 3, journey with purpose. Revisit love lessons. Venus will be retrograde from March 1st to April 12th. So the spring is going to make you dig in. What are those patterns that you keep repeating that you want to break, Leo? And then grow your wealth. That's your 5th. Virgo, in 2024, you got really inspired. You had big career ideas, but you also have had to recalibrate how you manifested them. And you've been able to do that all while making some heavy hitting and impressive connections. But not every offer was a good offer. One of the things that's been tough for you, Virgo, is that you've had Saturn, the challenging planet, the challenger, the taskmaster, the restrictor, opposite your sun. Saturn has been in Pisces since March 7th, 2023. And it's there on and off until February 13th of 2026. So it's opposite your sun sign of Virgo, and it's almost like it's dimming your shine a little, or every time you get a chance to put yourself out there, Saturn's like, are you ready? Like some Virgos may be dealing with perfectionism or a feeling of wanting to be a little more low key. We've had a couple of famous Virgos really come under fire. Beyonce, I think for the first time that I can remember, has been getting some shade this year. She came out with Cowboy Carter, which I could not stop listening to. I think it's an incredible album. And recently just had her NFL Christmas halftime show. But in the middle of the year, people were starting to question her. Why wasn't she supporting Kamala Harris more openly? Why didn't she play at the DNC? And then now Jay-Z is under fire, under scrutiny, unconfirmed. But with the Diddy scandal, his name is getting dragged around. And that's something that Beyonce has to deal with. She's sort of been untouchable. Now Saturn opposite the sun. It's just, I feel like people have turned on her in some ways. Blake Lively is another Virgo who really got Saturn opposite the sun. She got dragged this summer when her It Ends With Us movie came out. Old clips resurfaced of her being rude to a journalist, and then it was made that she was being pithy about a movie about domestic violence. I personally went and saw it, and everyone was like, "Oh, she said wear florals." Well, she played a florist in the movie. I thought people were being a little unnecessarily harsh on her. And now it's come out that she's suing her co-star for sexual harassment, that she endured all kinds of uncomfortable, inappropriate things on the set, and they were trying to bury her and even hired a damage control person, Melissa Nathan, to create a smear campaign. I hope none of the Virgos listening had to go through anything like that, but you may have felt that people who were normally on your side were being harder than you, that you had to reach a little more to get the accolades this year. Prince Harry ousted from the family, and by his own hand, one might argue, but he is no longer really a darling either. Harry and Meghan were everyone's favorites. Now we're just like overexposed. So flying under the radar would be a good idea for some Virgos out there too. And you might just want to just make yourself a little more scarce and make people miss you. In 2025, that enhanced level of discernment will be essential. And there's a reason why the South Node, the karmic South Node, is slipping into your sign. It hasn't been there since 2006 to 2007. And it's a little bit of a shadow work phase that you're going to be going through from January 11th of 2025 all the way until July 26th, 2026. No one gets away from it. Every 18 to 20 years, you have to do this 18-month reset. So you're going to need ample cocoon time during this spiritual year to tend to the needs of your private life, but also come out and make some public cameos. You're going to have Jupiter in your career house. There are a lot of opportunities for you to shine, but you want to be a little more mysterious. Here are your 5 themes, Virgo. Turbocharge your career goals. Become a viral sensation. You can do that. You can still become a viral sensation, but maybe it'll be from just 1 or 2 things that you put out there, not every single day going live on TikTok, or if TikTok's even around, or Instagram or whatever. Magnetize the power players. No matter what, you're still going to be able to draw in people of heft and influence. Bare your soul selectively when it comes to sharing your inner self and your secrets, only a chosen few, and then shed an old identity. There's a new you that's going to emerge after this. Let's go on to Libra now. Libra, in 2024, you did a lot of soul searching and shadow work as you connected to deeper sources of your personal power. And the reason for that is because the karmic South Node was in your sign all year. This is something that happens every 18 to 20 years for 18 months. No one can escape it. And you were the lucky one from July 17th, 2023 until January 11th, 2025. So it's like shadow work, dark night of the soul, digging in, processing trauma, healing, shedding things. You revealed new dimensions of yourself, and you probably gained new followers, but you had to undergo some stress in the process. A few standout Libras of 2024 were Snoop Dogg. He made the Olympics just so entertaining, and it was a part of him, a side of him that we didn't get to see very often. That's what I love about the South Node. If you do that work, hidden dimensions of yourself come out. Kamala Harris, she seemed to kind of come out of nowhere, and even though she didn't win the election, what she was able to do in 10 weeks was outstanding and impressive. People we didn't hear as much from, a couple Libras, Kim Kardashian, she was busy working on Skims. Travis Kelce did not make his big proposal. The South Node can be shadowy too. It's a bit like Pluto in some ways. There's a little bit of a nefarious influence. So some of the villains of this year were Libras. Putin, Netanyahu, and Argentina's Milei, all Libras, all these autocratic, warmongering, or disruptive influences. Libra is a cardinal sign, so even though it is a sign of justice and peace and harmony, when those scales get off balance, it can create these very single minded, kind of the opposite of what you would expect from a Libra. But yeah, we have some examples of Libras who are acting more like Aries in some ways. In 2025, though, you're going to feel freer than you have in nearly 2 years because on January 11th, that South Node is leaving your sign. Hallelujah. No more eclipses in your sign. You had those also the last 2 years shaking things up. So get ready for greater visibility and a chance to make a difference on the world stage in a way that lasts for more than a flash in the pan. So here are your 5 themes, Libra. Widen your search parameters. Jupiter is going to be in Gemini for the first half of the year. Go long, cast that wide net, travel, connect to people online, go to Paris like Snoop did. 2, shift into mogul mode. 3, call in powerful partnerships. Always, always. Partnership is the path to success for you, Libra. Reconfigure relationship dynamics. And 5, heal from the inside out. Focus on just processing everything. But, and the South Node slips into Virgo in your 12th house, and the North Node goes into Pisces. Having a wellness practice is going to really make a difference in helping you to just feel your best. And I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but more so than usual. Now, Scorpio is next. Okay, Scorpio, in 2024, you may have felt like you were in a holding pattern. Your ruler, Pluto, was going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius and was making it hard for you to know where to focus. But this also gave you a chance to nurture a few key relationships and probably reboot some self-care. But it hasn't been easy. The South Node in the 12th house in Libra did bring some issues, both with health as well as exposure of long-held secrets and scandals. Biden and King Charles are 2 Scorpios whose health really declined this year. They struggled with cancer and potential dementia. It's been a tough year for them. And I'd say the Scorpio who really got taken down was Diddy, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, and all the allegations and exposures that came out since Virgo, Cassie Ventura, took advantage of the opportunity to finally get justice served for his abuse. And then all the stories that have come out that he's ending 2024 in jail with no end to the repercussions of his actions in sight. So that's an example of like hidden scandals being exposed. Now, there are other Scorpios who have captured our intrigue in a major way this year. Demi Moore came back in The Substance, New Jersey housewife alum, and so much more. Bethany Frankel is a TikTok favorite. We can't stop watching her. SNL's Bowen Yang has kept us laughing all year and was in Wicked and just has been the star, even though he weathered a little bit of criticism as well. So you wouldn't be a Scorpio if you didn't court controversy. Now, Pluto changing signs, it's now in Aquarius and it's rooted in your home and family zone. So you may find yourself wanting to plant deeper roots or pull them up and move, somewhere else and completely transform your home life or lifestyle. You could find yourself wanting to form a deeper connection to your ancestry, to your family. Scorpios often have fraught relationships with their blood relatives. You sometimes come into this world being the one who's here to break up those ancestral patterns and take the heat for it. So you sometimes have to formulate a family on your own with people who see the world you do, and they probably don't share your blood. Here's some fun news that I think you'll like. Glamour, celebration, and creativity are due to return as the North Node moves into Pisces. So you get to feel like that creature of the night again, going out and dancing and singing and cavorting and doing the things that Scorpios do. But don't go into that room and stay away from the baby oil, okay? There are some parties that aren't worth attending, Scorpios. Okay, now your top 5 themes, Scorpio. 1, get curious and curiouser. 2, soar out of your comfort zone. No more hiding out, even if you're finding a perfect home for yourself. 3, add some soul to your goals. Not hard for a Scorpio to do, but if you've been going through the motions, how can you, I don't want to say level up, I want to say level down because you like to go deep. 4, love your body. And 5, revitalize your romantic streak. All right, we're almost done. We got 4 more signs to go. But if you're listening and wondering how you can find out more about what's happening for your sign and all the people you love in 2025, well, you really need to get a copy of our 2025 horoscope book. The AstroTwins 2025 horoscope comes in paperback and digital. It's our 14th year writing this tome. You can get one big book to share with all the signs or a zodiac planner just for your sign. astrostyle.com/2025-book and use the code holiday10 holiday10 at checkout for 10% off. That link is also in the show notes. Okay, Sagittarius, my sign, baby. In 2024, you worked harder than you have in years. Ain't that the truth? But made some amazing connections, ones that brought you back into the limelight as your authentic, unapologetic self. Now, your ruler Jupiter has spent half the year in detriment in Gemini. That's its least favorite place to be. Next year, when it moves into Cancer, it'll be exalted in its absolute favorite place to be. But you have definitely been working hard. Taylor Swift was on her Eras tour. She just ended it this year with billions in the bank. I'll bet she needs a nap. Jon Stewart returned to The Daily Show. I've got to say that some of the biggest breakouts too were Sages this year. Not really breakouts, but Sages kind of came into their own. Billie Eilish was 1,000% that. She came out openly as a lesbian too this year and did a sexy duet with Charlie XCX. Christina Aguilera made a comeback. Now, creator Alex Earl, your TikToker or Instagrammer, has continued to dominate. I really love Coleman Domingo, too. If you watch him on Fear the Walking Dead, he's continued to come forward as a gay actor, winning awards and making fashion statements, as a Sag does. We love to stand out. It has been a good year for that with the North Node in Aries. In 2025, Sages are ready to create some super-powered partnerships. Also, do so while continuing to stabilize your base of operations. Pluto is no longer in Sagittarian's money zone, so that is kind of a relief. But it is time to make smarter choices. Sag is about time and money. Start playing the long game instead of flying by the seat of your pants. Now, there are a couple Sagittarians who are under scrutiny right now. Jay-Z, Macron, who basically crashed the French government. I think we're going to find out more about them this spring. We have Venus retrograde in Aries and Sag's fame zone. And that's going to bring some old dramas back to the surface for a lot of archers out there, but also some past creativity, some past fame, some things that you were known for in the past, hopefully not notorious for. So if you need to clean up your old files or take responsibility for some things from your past, we recommend doing that before the spring. Now, here are your 5 themes. 1, embrace interdependence, which is dependence and independence in one, not codependence, but just, hey, we're here for each other, but we're not controlling each other. 2, invest with intention, get that crypto or whatever, that, ETF. 3, claim your fame. Another year of fame is in store. 4, surrender to sentimentality. And 5, balance career and home. Your home life cannot be ignored this year with the North Node going into Pisces. Better make sure you tend to your roots. Capricorn, in 2024, you wrapped up a 16-year cycle that you'll never see again in this lifetime, and thank God for that. Pluto, the Darth Vader of the skies, is no longer in your sign. It has moved on to Aquarius, and you are free from it, but you may feel like you have no idea what to focus on almost for the first time in your life. Some of the Capricorns who really had a hard time this year are probably coming out of it feeling a sort of a spiritual reconnection. Kate Middleton, Princess Kate, dealt with cancer this year. She had a tough time. But then there were, some other Capricorns who harnessed the power of Pluto to really then there were some Capricorns who harnessed the power of Pluto to really make a dent in society in some way or another. RFK Jr., who joined Trump's campaign and is planning to make America healthy again and somehow be part of an administration that is corporatist and yet give us all natural food. If he can pull that off, then more power to him. Michelle Obama was a star this summer in the DNC with the best zingers of all. I love Nicola Coughlan, who was Penelope Featherington on Bridgerton and was the star, the steamy star of this year's season, and love that she's not a typical model body. That just, always applaud that. Cynthia Ervino, Elphaba in Wicked. Who doesn't love her? She and Ariana Grande are on their teary-eyed tour of the red carpets, enchanting us all with their voices and their loving friendship. Denzel Washington came back out in Gladiator 2, and then Jake Paul, who fought Mike Tyson, Capricorn there, and actually it's the same birthday as Capricorn Muhammad Ali, another boxer. So say what you will about that. Coincidence? I don't know. But Capricorns, simplify to amplify. That's your theme this year. In 2025, you can really take your newfound sense of freedom from shaking off Pluto as of November 19th. You can take it to the bank. It's time to invest in things that really bring you comfort. And with Saturn and Neptune both moving into Aries, maybe putting down roots. There could be some changes around your home life, or else just a sinking into it. Maybe dealing with some changes to family, either some reconnection or some losses. But you really did make it through the fire with this 16-year cycle that you're never going to see again in this lifetime. So congratulations, Capricorn. You are free. Your 5 themes are: ritualize your routines. Don't just go through the motions, but bring some magic to them. 2, expand your romantic palette. If you thought you had a type before, guess again, especially when Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, goes into your relationship house in the second half of the year on June 9th. 3, turn your home into a sanctuary. 4, set boundaries with your inner circle. Not everyone deserves to be that close to you. And then 5, podcast your beliefs. Let us know what you're thinking, Capricorn. Aquarius, 2 more signs to go. Aquarius, in 2024, you had shakeups, seismic shifts, and major instability thanks to Pluto making that bumpy landing in your sign. And January 20th to September 1st, and then again November 19th of this year, 2024, for 19 more years until January of 2044. You are hosting Pluto, and you might feel completely disoriented or unsure about what lies ahead. I know Aquarians who had breakups, divorces, losses, just major shakeups. I hope that wasn't the case for you, but On some level, you may just feel like your compass is spun in a totally new direction. I will say, though, that Aquarians were true to their rebellious nature. Like Pluto can be, feisty and spicy. And Miranda July, her book All Fours, the menopause romance novel, is just hilarious and amazing. She's an Aquarius. Caitlin Clark of the WNBA made basketball exciting and fun, badass again. Julia Fox, another Aquarius who's so Julia of the Charlie XCX song. She, just kept us laughing and guessing with her unapologetic rebellion. Shakira came back out with a song. So, Aquarians were sort of the anti-hero, indie, underground rebels, as you should be. So that part of your personality, instead of the fresh-faced, squeaky clean one, came out, and I love it. So thank you, Aquarians, for giving us some art to enjoy this year, some counterculture, subversive material to sink our teeth into. Now, in 2025, your 19-year Phoenix cycle is underway. What will you burn off? What will you alchemize? And how will you regenerate? Your independent nature is coming to the fore again this year, but don't push everyone away who just wants to be there and love you. There can be this staunch independence or this desire to take command. And, there could also be a chance of you alienating people in the process if you aren't careful. When Jupiter goes into Cancer on June 9th, you'll be able to get yourself into a more regulated groove. Before that, here are your top 5 themes. 1, go for the glam. Jupiter in Gemini is time to dress up, show off, become a style icon. 2, get healthy and wealthy. 3, commune with kindred spirits. You're going to find some new people to call your people. 4, refine your love language. When Venus is retrograde from March 1st to April 12th, you're going to find new ways to woo. And then 5, raise the financial stakes. It's money earning time. The lunar nodes are in your money houses. So time to learn more about investing, saving, spending in ways that are more responsible, perhaps. Last but not least, we have Pisces. Pisces in 2024, you came up against major challenges. You had Saturn in your sign. That happens every 29 years, March 7th. 2023 all the way till February 13th, 2026, with a little break in 2025. But you've been making some heavier decisions around your life, hopefully learning how to stand up for yourself. And you really probably had to set some major boundaries, even with family or the people closest to you. And you are rising up into the new role of adulting. I'm thinking about Justin Bieber, who became a dad this year and also may have gone through some, abuse from Diddy. Rihanna really embracing her role as a mom and partner to A$AP Rocky. Chappell Roan, I think, is the Pisces of all Pisces, an example of Saturn, supporting you. She became a megastar after, in a very Saturnian way, hard work, hard work, hard work, and then boom, finally you hit the tipping point. She's been at it for a long time. It seemed like she became an overnight sensation, but, she had been working hard, but she did become famous fast and struggled with it openly and shared openly about it. And it wasn't easy, even if it looked easy. And that's very Saturn. We lost Quincy Jones this year, a Saturn legend there. Tyler, the Creator, is another Pisces who has grown in popularity with his smarts and cleverness and lyrical genius. And okay, Pisces, 2025, destiny is calling. The North Node is in your sign as of January 11th, all the way until July 26th, 2026, this 18-month period. And you are just coming into your own now. It's going to be like night and day. Like after all the hardship of 2024 and even 2023, you're going to feel more stable and inspired than you have in a while. So now it's time to make money, create a sense of security at home, and also reconnect to creativity and glamour. I mean, arguably, all the Pisces I mentioned have been very glamorous. I think glamour is just part of being a Pisces. You wear your art on your sleeve. It's more about like a natural sense of just ease with being loved and adored and out and about with people. So let's see what the Pisces are going to give us in the world of music and art and fashion next year. I can't wait. So here are your top 5 themes for the year. 1, take home on the road. You're going to be on the move this year. 2, turn life into a costume party. 3, stabilize your finances. Okay, maybe shop vintage there. 4, reclaim your worth. And 5, illuminate your higher purpose. Like it or not, you will not be able to avoid being on your path because that north node in your sign only comes around every 18 to 20 years. You are, in many ways, the star of the year. So that's a quick and dirty for all 12 signs in 2025. I'm going to tell you one more time to go and get our 2025 horoscope guide if you don't have it. It comes in paperback. It comes in digital. You can get the one big book, which has all 12 signs in it and all 12 months of hot spots. Or you can get the zodiac planner, which has just your signs and then the 12 months of hotspots and calendar pages. Or you can bundle them together, one to share on your coffee table and one to put on your nightstand. You get to decide which. And you definitely want to get your copy soon because with it comes a free ticket, bonus ticket to our 2025 Planet by the Planets webinar that's taking place this January 12th. Also, as a bonus, you get the calendar populator that'll put all the hot spots onto your Google Calendar and give you little reminders when there's a full moon, a new moon, Mercury retrograde, Venus going into a new sign. So every time there's an important astrological event, you will get a note on your calendar and you can go and read the hot spot and get the details on that. Don't forget to use code HOLIDAY10, that's HOLIDAY10 at checkout. If you enjoyed the episode, there's so much more to listen to. We record the podcast every week. We'd love it if you would subscribe to the podcast. Just go up and hit follow on whatever app you're listening to. Happy New Year, everyone. Here's to an amazing 2025. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrocell.com and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.